Samson Ebukam is someone we've talked about maybe never on this show. I don't talk about him very much.
We talked about him at the beginning of the season where we laid out our expectations and hopes for him. And then a couple of times we've referenced him when he's made some great plays.
Early in the season, he wasn't a starter. It was like he didn't have a role. It was D Ford. They were trying to get D Ford back on the team, back in there. Javon Kinlaw was taking up space. But about halfway through, Kinlaw was out, D Ford was out, Armstead moved to defensive tackle, and Ebukam became a starting defensive end. And once he could just concentrate and get like a lot of snaps, he got 5.5 sacks the last 8 games, including the playoffs.
I am an Ebukam fan.
He's hella good. In the NFC Championship game, his effort was on par with Nick Bosa. Now, he's not as good as Nick Bosa, but he played as hard as the guy with the best motor.
I love his celebrations as well. That dude is loud and he's proud. He plays the game like a man should. Absolutely.
Good addition.
And he plays bigger than his size as well.
He's not quite what they wanted, what they thought D Ford would give to him, but D Ford is broken. Ebukam has improved so much. He is very powerful on his speed to power bull rush, and it just shows that Chris Kosaric is the god of defensive line. This guy was an outside linebacker last year. The Rams didn't even want him, and Ebukam comes in the NFC Championship game and is pushing around. Hold on, Whitworth, because for whatever reason, Bosa and the Niners have decided that he doesn't match up well with Whitworth. He only goes against Havenstein. Ebukam was over here giving Whitworth the business. The business.
You should have seen Whitworth downright respected it because you could see the look on his face like he was ashamed. He was like, man, where the hell was this when you were on my team?
You know what I mean? It's like they probably went up against each other in practice for years on the Rams. And
fear does not make up for muscle. And Ebukam proved that.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a really good. He came on strong. That is their starting defensive end.
If the point is, should we keep him for the long term? Then the answer is definitely yes.
And they should not move Armstead back to defensive end. They should not try to bring
Armstead his only way to flourish is if you let him stay in his natural environment. And why have him anyway if you're not going to do that? Why pay him if you will not let him do his job?
The Niners have their bookends. Ebukam, Bosa. Ebukam is
everything. You know what Ebukam does for this team? He lets us keep Bosa for the long term because he's not a huge splash defensive end, and you could lock him up with a decent contract. It's not going to break the bank. We didn't have to draft him. We didn't have to spend a first rounder on him. We kind of got lucky with him, but I think it's also, kudos to the scouting department for reviewing his tape, bringing him in, plug and play.
And I want to say real quick, one of the first times I ever interviewed or talked to Robert Saleh on the phone, we were talking about the Super Bowl between the Rams and the Patriots. The Niners had been eliminated, and I was previewing that for the Press Democrat when I was working there, and we were talking about the game, and he was just going through. He said, by the way, he didn't even know the guy's name. He was like, whatever his number was. He said, that guy, he's really good. I just want you to know, he's really good. So he was on Saleh's radar years ago, which means he was on the Niners' radar years ago, and it's just interesting to see their vision for someone else's player come totally to fruition. All he needed was a little bit of time and a starting role. That's their starting DN.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And keep him there.